You're sitting in a train station in a city you'll never name. 40 minutes ago, you stopped being a real person. There's no birth certificate with your name anymore, no school records, no passport in your real identity. The hospital where you were born has no file. The army you once served lists you as discharged for a medical condition you never had. Your own mother's phone has a different number for you now, one that rings in an office 2,000 miles away. You haven't died. It's worse than that. You've been erased. A woman sits down across from you and slides the coffee across the table. She doesn't look at you. She says 6 words under her breath. The package arrives in 12 minutes. You nod once. You pick up the coffee. And the man who used to be you takes a sip and disappears into the work that doesn't officially exist. This is what it's like to be a spy they wiped from every record on Earth. You don't apply for this. There's no form. There's no interview you can tell anyone about. You are already good. Maybe special forces, maybe an analyst who saw too clearly, maybe a field officer who survived something that killed everyone else. You'd proven you could keep a secret, take a hit, and walk away from a life. Then one day a man with a forgettable face sits beside you. He asks one question. What if you could do the work that matters most, but the price is that you never existed? He explains it slowly. There's a program with no name. To join it, you don't get a new identity stacked on top of your old one. They take the old one away. Every record gets quietly altered, sealed, or deleted. To the system, you become a gap, a person-shaped hole in the world. Why? Because a spy with no history can't be traced, can't be blackmailed through family, can't be exposed because there's nothing to expose. If you're caught, your country won't deny knowing you. They genuinely won't know you. You'll be a man with no name, no file, no flag. He asks if you're in. You think about everyone you'll have to leave behind. You say yes. You don't yet understand what you've agreed to. They take you somewhere remote and spend a year unmaking you. The physical part is almost a relief. Running, fighting, shooting the things your body already knows. The hard part is learning to be nobody. They teach you to erase yourself from a room, how to sit so no one's eyes land on you, how to answer questions for an hour and leave behind no memory of your face. They put you in a crowded market and give you one task, be invisible for a full day. You fail again and again. You walked too confidently. You made eye contact. You wore the same jacket twice. A good spy isn't memorable. A great spy is a blur. They teach you to become other people completely. Not just a fake name, a fake life. You learn to drink tea like a man from one country and order coffee like a man from another. You learn 3 accents until you dream in them. You memorize a childhood that isn't yours so well that you'd pass a lie detector reciting it. The washout rate is savage, not because the recruits are weak, they're the best there is. They wash out because they can't let go of themselves. The ones who need to be remembered, who need credit, who need to be the strongest man in the room, gone. They keep the ones who can vanish without grief, the gray ones, the ghosts. You graduate to no applause, just a new name, a plane ticket, and a sentence that becomes your whole life. From now on, you are no one, your first real assignment, a foreign capital, a target who moves money for very bad people. He's not a fighter, he's an accountant in an expensive suit who has never touched a weapon. But his money buys the weapons, builds the bombs, pays the men who kill. Your country wants his whole network, every name, every account, so killing him is useless. Dead men keep no contacts. Your job is simpler and harder than killing. Get close, see everything, be seen by no one. You arrive as a boring, foreign businessman. You rent an ordinary apartment. For 2 months, you do absolutely nothing interesting. You eat alone. You go to the gym. You become a forgettable regular in his world. The same cafe, the same hours, never a word to him, never a glance. Within weeks, you know his life better than his wife does. When he leaves, who drives him, who he meets on which day. The woman he sees who isn't his wife. Every detail flows home through a channel that bounces across 6 countries before anyone reads it. Then you spot it. A car that appears too often. A man who sits too straight. He has people watching for people like you. You don't panic. You become even more invisible. You change your routine. You report it. And quietly, the trap closes around him. His network unravels thread by thread. Accounts freeze. Arrests happen in cities he's never been to. He never knows it started with a forgettable man drinking the same coffee every Thursday. You leave the country as quietly as you arrived. The apartment is cleaned. The lease ends. It's as if you were never there, because of course you never were. They bring you home for something far more dangerous. There's a traitor inside. Someone in your own agency is feeding secrets to the other side. Operations are being burned before they start. Sources are turning up dead. And the leak is coming from a building full of the most loyal, most trusted people in the country. Your job is to find the traitor, and you have to suspect everyone to do it. The mentor who trained you, the officer who vouched for you, the friend who saved your life on a rooftop 2 years ago. Any of them could be the one. This is the loneliest mission there is. You can't trust a single face. You watch bank accounts that are slightly too full, trips that don't add up, a colleague who suddenly knows things he has no reason to know. You build the case for months, in total silence, never letting your eyes settle long enough to be noticed. And slowly, the pattern points to one person, someone you respected, someone you'd have trusted with your life. When it ends, there's no shootout, just a quiet conversation in a quiet room, and then the traitor disappears from the records as completely as you did. You go home and you can't sleep, because you've learned the lesson that haunts everyone in this work. Anyone can be turned, and one day, if they push hard enough, that might include you. Now the mission that defines you. A bomb maker. The engineer behind hundreds of deaths across 3 countries. He's a ghost, like you. No recent photographs, never uses a phone, never sleeps in the same place twice. Even his own people don't know where he is on any given night. Billions of dollars of satellites, and the best analysts in the world have failed to find him for years. So they send the one thing that can find a ghost, another ghost. You don't hunt him directly. That's impossible. You hunt the shape of the hole he leaves in the world. His courier, his doctor, his brother, the relatives who might know which house he's hiding in tonight. You map them across 3 countries, each time as a different person, a journalist here, an aid worker there, a businessman somewhere else. For over a year, your team builds the web. Each thread leads to another. You don't ask direct questions. You let people talk. You buy the tea. You remember everything. The break comes from a single intercepted call. A village in the mountains. A compound that's been silent for years, suddenly busy. You go in as a journalist writing about reconstruction, with real credentials and references that check out. You live in that village. You drink tea with the elders. You take notes on farming projects you don't care about, and you watch that compound through a lens that looks like a camera. Vehicles at night. Guards rotating every 4 hours. You photograph faces. Most come back unknown. But one matches, not the target, his brother. If the brother is there, so is he. You send home the map, coordinates precise to the meter, guard rotations to the minute. Then you're told to leave. You don't ask why. You thank the elder for his kindness. You promise to send him a copy of an article that will never be written, and you're across the border by nightfall. 72 hours later, the news reports a senior figure killed in an operation. No government will confirm. You drew that map, you counted those guards. And somewhere, a wall gets a new mark for the men who went in and didn't come out. Men whose names you'll never know. The last great mission. Not to kill someone, to save one. A scientist trapped inside a hostile regime, forced to build a weapon that could change history. He doesn't believe in it. He wants out. But his family is his cage. His children watched. His wife followed everywhere. The politicians want a clean diplomatic solution, but there's a window, one night, to get him and his family out. No army, no official involvement. If you're caught, you're a kidnapper and a spy, and your country will deny everything because there's nothing to deny. You don't exist. A team of 4 ghosts. Months of preparation through people who don't know who they're really working for. You make contact through his daughter's music teacher, an agent embedded for years, waiting for exactly this. The message, one chance, one night. He says yes. The night of the extraction, the power goes out across the district. Not an accident. In the dark you move. The scientist, his wife, 2 daughters, the youngest is 7, and she thinks it's an adventure. You let her believe it. A car, a checkpoint, forged papers that cost a fortune, a bribe to a guard who thinks he's helping smugglers, then a boat across Blackwater for 8 hours. The little girl gets seasick, and you hold her hair back while she's sick over the side. The most human moment in a life with almost none left. 2 weeks of safe houses, moving every night. Every passing car could be the one that ends it. Then an airfield in the middle of nowhere. A plane with no markings. Handshakes with men who give no names. The family makes it out. New identities. New lives. The little girl will grow up free, and she'll never know how close she came or who carried her hair out of the way on a dark boat. The weapon program is set back years. A war that might have started doesn't. You go back to your life. Your next name. Your next nothing. You've been doing this for years. You've stopped counting. You've been 17 different people in a dozen countries. You speak 5 languages and accents that fool natives. But who are you? The marriage is gone. She couldn't live with a husband who vanished for months and came back as a stranger each time. The kids know you as the man who misses birthdays, who's always traveling, who sends gifts from places he can't name. Your son is 14 now. You've missed 6 of his birthdays. Friends aren't allowed. Every relationship is either professional or a liability. The people who know the real you fit on one hand, and most of them work for the same program that doesn't exist. The worst part is the faces, the courier whose wallet held photos of 3 children, the sources who trusted you, whose names you passed up the chain. You dream in other languages now. Some mornings you wake up and need a few seconds to remember your real name, the one no record on earth still holds. So why do you do it? Because 3 weeks ago, a bomb didn't go off in a shopping center full of families. 200 people went home that night. None of them will ever know your name. None of them will ever know you existed. That's the only medal there is. And most days it's enough. You're in a cafe now. Could be anywhere. Gray hair, a few more lines on a face people still forget 5 minutes after meeting it. A young man sits nearby, fit, alert, trying a little too hard to look casual. He holds his cup wrong. He checks his watch too often. He's watching someone, learning the craft, certain he's invisible. He isn't. You spotted him in 3 seconds. You could teach him everything. How to hold a cup to hide your face. How to use reflections instead of turning your head. How to become so gray, so forgettable, so erased, that no one ever remembers you were in the room. But you won't. Because he doesn't know you exist, and he never will. That's the rule. It's always been the rule. The world is kept safe by people who are wiped from every record, by programs that never happened, by men and women who gave up their own names so that strangers could keep theirs. No parade, no monument, no file. You finish your coffee, you leave exact change, you step out into the sunlit, just another face in the crowd, forgettable, invisible, gone. And somewhere a man with a soft handshake is sitting down beside that young spy, ready to ask him one quiet question. The cycle begins again.